Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, we talked about a very key state yesterday in yesterday's video with the whole Pennsylvania debacle. It seems as if the voter registration system is backfiring on the Democrats, and in today's video, we're going to cover another potential backfire on Democrats in the state of Arizona, another very contentious swing state that's going to possibly dictate the outcome of the 2024 presidential election. Not so much for the Senate race because Republicans are likely going to have to win, Montana, Ohio, before they win Arizona to get the Senate, but it doesn't mean that they can't add to their total. It doesn't mean that they can't run up the score. And it seems as if because this is a three-way race, the way that it's unfolding, it's very possible that Republicans could go out there and take it. Kyrsten Sinema, last year, after the midterm, she defected from the Democrats. It hasn't changed the way she's voted. They call her an incumbent one-term centrist. She's not a centrist, okay? She votes with Biden 100% of the time. She pretends to barely dilute his agenda, but the agenda he's passed forward is already so unpopular. He's underwater on every single issue by like 20 points, to the point where I don't think that you could even spin anything Sinema's done into being some massive net positive. So Republicans probably need around 46, 47% to win this Senate race. And Donald Trump is probably going to get around, 48% at a minimum in the state of Arizona. He could get closer to 50, but either way, you have a high floor for Republicans. Republicans that are closely tied to Trump probably do well in this race because they'll be tied to Trump. With Trump at the top of the ticket, Trump will weigh them up. They're not going to have to be out there on an island on their own in some election where Trump's not at the top of the ticket. So Republicans have a prime pickup opportunity here, and this is true. There was a poll that came out the other day, yesterday to be specific, that showed Kari Lake in the lead. Kari Lake was in the lead over Ruben Gallego, who's this far-left nut job, and then you have Kyrsten Sinema, who claims she's a centrist but pretends that she is not a left-wing nut job. This is the bottom line. This is good cop, bad cop, folks. That's exactly what this is. Gallego's the crazy one. He picks fights on social media. He's insufferable. A lot of people hate him. He's the bad cop. And then Kyrsten Sinema's the good cop that says, I'm going to be rhetorically nice to you Republicans. I'm going to go into your coat room and do God knows what. But other than that, she votes the same way that the rest of them do. Make no mistake about it. And it seems as if, like I predicted, Sinema already is taking more votes away from Gallego than votes she'll be taking away from Lake, which is what I told people. And it seems like that's going to come into fruition, because why are people going to go out there and vote for Donald Trump, but then be like off-put by Kari Lake, but they're still willing to vote for Trump? Like those supposed McCain Republican type of voters that Democrats and obviously a lot of people in the establishment right will pretend like they constitute a massive portion of the Arizona electorate. And they're not. I mean, they exist, but they're not that consequential. But they're the type that would go for Sinema, which definitely helps Lake overall. And those voters are also the Biden Republicans as well. Republicans or registered Republicans that have been voting Democrat lately in the state of Arizona. And it seems like if they go to Sinema, that helps Lake. And you look at the head-to-head race, Lake could still win that, but that's a dead heat. That is 44-44. And Gallego is hated. People said Katie Hobbs was a bad candidate that Kari Lake ran against. Well, Gallego takes the cake by a massive margin, and Sinema, being the Democrat that she is going to take probably more votes away from people that would vote Democrat at the top of the ticket, which is a good thing. And the data so far is backing this up, even in internal polls for the Democrats, which do show a different result than this poll, but still show the race within the margin of error regardless. And Kari Lake is probably going to be the Republican nominee for Senate. Some Republicans have been critical of her lately, even people who may have supported her gubernatorial run. And she released her issues page yesterday. She's been campaigning for the past week. She gave an announcement speech yesterday. I watched the whole thing. And it seems to me like she set out to prove all of the doubters wrong, because that's exactly what she did. You talk about the fact that they say, well, she's not on message. She focuses on 2020 and 2022, not 2024. Well, look at the issues page. This is all about 2024. You talk about the 10-point plan to secure the border, talking about local issues like water, talking about, cutting inflation, reducing the debt. That's kind of standard Republican stuff. But the homelessness crisis. And when it gets to abortion, she's the one that's going kind of on offense in an effective way electorally, because she's saying, yeah, I'm not running on it to ban it nationally, but we're going to do this, this, and this to lower the number of abortions because abortion is bad, and she supports state restrictions. That's a winning message-wise. It doesn't fully compromise on the issue of abortion. And Gallego's attacking her, saying she wants it banned without exceptions, whatever. He's going to go out there and he's going to lie because he's just a career liar. But you talk about the fact that she's focusing on 2024. That's a good thing. Not a lot of mentions of 2020 and 2022. There was one line in there about how, she fell short in the governor's race and believes that this is her next calling. And the other gripes that people said about Lake was she insults voters because she told McCain Republicans to leave an event back in 2021. And even though the clip didn't really fully go viral until after the election, it's still not a good look. You can insult McCain, you could insult the McCain machine even, but you can't insult the voters, whether you're Hillary Clinton insulting Trump supporters as a basket of deplorables, or you're Ron DeSantis insulting Trump supporters as listless vessels. Obviously, it's just not a good look to come for the voters. But I watched Lake's announcement speech, and what she did was she extended the olive branch to Biden supporters and said these are good people, but, they've been, I guess, fooled by the system, and a lot of them are waking up, which is a good thing. And that's exactly the messaging you need, especially if you want to grow the coalition. So it's just one rally, and of course you're going to have people coping about it and saying, well, it doesn't mean anything, but if it adds up, it compounds over time. Your image, your brand changes, it improves over time, and we still have 13 months of the election. It seems like Lake is already pivoting. You're not going to have this divisive primary, more likely than not. Problem was last time you had this divisive primary, and you had this woman, Karen Taylor Robson, who was awful, and she spent tens of millions of dollars trying to take Lake down in the primary, and she failed, but definitely just the money and resources spent definitely impacted Lake's image negatively, and hopefully you're not going to see the same thing this time around. Yeah, I would have probably preferred Masters initially. I'm more of a Masters guy myself, but it doesn't seem like he's running. So Lake, given the fact that she's got the primary pretty much locked up already out of the gate, given the fact she's got Trump's endorsement, Lake is who I am endorsing for 2024. And the other gripe, people will say, well, she lost. She lost, therefore, this doesn't exactly bode well to run somebody who lost. And typically, I understand the sentiment, but these are the same people that want to run Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania, who couldn't even get past a primary where the Trump base was split. He got 30% of the vote maximum or something like that. It was brutal. And you look at the polls in Pennsylvania, the same polls that have Trump winning Pennsylvania by 9, McCormick's losing to Casey by 8. He's lagging behind by 17. Yeah, it's less than that. In reality, as we get closer, it will narrow, but not by enough to make him viable. But they still want to fund this guy as their fourth priority. Why? Because he's a rhino, and he's not somebody like Lake who's actually solid on the issues and would be one of our best senators. And any Republican that's going to sit back there and say, well, I don't like the way Lake handled 2022, I'm going to vote for Sinema instead. They're just dumb and doing a disservice, because Sinema votes with Biden 100% of the time. There's no positive way to spin that. Lake is somebody that would go in there and vote against Biden 100% of the time, or vote with Trump in the 90% range of the time, more likely than not, if not even 100% of the time, which means that Republicans that are siding with a Democrat, a self-described Prada-socialist who called Arizona the meth lab of democracy and all these other things. It doesn't exactly add up. They're just deranged. There's no reason to side with Sinema. Lake's going to be the nominee. I don't want to hear this, oh, well, Lake's probably going to lose. Say hi to Senator Gallego type stuff, because it's dumb. You're not helping. You're not being helpful. You're not a team player. You might as well go join the opposition, because you're not helping us win. You're just demoralizing, and nobody likes that. Nobody does. So we'll see what happens between now and Election Day. But make no mistake, this is a winnable race. Lake had great rhetoric and messaging in her announcement speech. I love the issues page overall. And it's really just a good cop, bad cop duo she's up against. So people need not fall for the Sinema stuff, obviously. And if we can effectively communicate that messaging, and it seems like Lake is the one to do it, then yeah, I believe Lake very well could be the next senator of the state of Arizona. Obviously, there's a lot of time between now and Election Day. I don't want to take anything for granted, obviously, but still, I'm impressed with what I've seen from Lake's campaign so far, and it seems like Steve Daines is on board. Steve Daines went out there, the guy who controls the funding in the Senate races on the Republican side, and he said if Lake runs a campaign with good messaging, it's going to be a very competitive race. What does that mean? It means Lake is likely going to get funding from Steve Daines, which is a very good thing, and I hope that she does, because I do believe this is a very winnable race, and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about Nevada, Wisconsin, and some of these other races as we get closer, possibly Michigan, if we talk about a sizable majority, but still, we'll take it one state at a time. But either way, the Senate is vital, and I'm confident we're going to take it back. The question is by how much, but we got to support Lake so we can get that Senate seat in Arizona. Even if it just takes 47% of the vote to get there, it's doable. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video down below. Comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.